The doctor who sold actor Matthew Perry ketamine before his 2023 overdose death was sentenced to 2.5 years in federal prison on Wednesday. The 54-year-old actor, who is most known for playing Chandler Bing on the sitcom Friends, died in October 2023 after he was found unresponsive in his hot tub. 2 months later, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner ruled he died from the acute effects of ketamine. Perry was reportedly undergoing ketamine therapy to treat depression and anxiety, but according to the Los Angeles Times, his last known infusion was from over a week before his death, and the medical examiner concluded that the ketamine in his system could not have been from that final session. Weeks before Perry's death, prosecutors said he was introduced to Dr. Salvador Plasencia, a physician who operated a Calabasas-based urgent care clinic, as a high-profile person who would pay a lot of money for ketamine treatment. Court documents show that Plasencia messaged another doctor at the time wondering, quote, how much this moron will pay, and, quote, let's find out. Prosecutors said Perry paid Plasencia $57,000 after the doctor gave him 20 vials and numerous tablets of ketamine, an incredible upcharge as the drug apparently cost only around $15 per vial. Before his death, Perry had publicly talked about his decades-long battle with addiction, opening up about his struggles with drug use in his 2022 memoir titled Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. The prosecutors claimed Plasencia, quote, sought to exploit Perry's medical vulnerability for profit. During the sentencing hearing, the federal judge reportedly told Plasencia that while he did not supply the ketamine that ultimately killed Perry, quote, you and others helped Mr. Perry on the road to such an ending by continuing to feed his ketamine addiction. 4 other defendants pleaded guilty to crimes related to Perry's death and are expected to be sentenced within the next couple months. Harry Nelson, lawyer and author of the United States of Opioids, joins Forbes True Crime to discuss. Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Harry Nelson, lawyer and author of the United States of Opioids. Harry, thank you so much for joining me.
Brittany, thanks for having me on.
I'm very interested in your take on what we're about to talk about. The doctor who sold Matthew Perry ketamine in the weeks leading up to his overdose death was sentenced to 2.5 years in federal prison on Wednesday. The judge did say, though, that this was not the ketamine that ultimately killed Perry. So to start off the conversation, what do you make of the sentencing?
You know, it's a significant sentence. Anytime a doctor who treated a patient is basically pleading guilty to drug trafficking and getting 30 months in federal prison, it's a pretty serious case. It's clearly a case where the Department of Justice wanted to send a strong message about ketamine and about the misuse and the way that medical practice essentially devolved into effectively criminal drug trafficking.
Let's dive a little deeper into that actual sentence. The doctor's name is Dr. Salvador Plasencia, also known as Dr. P. He pleaded guilty to 4 counts of distribution of ketamine. He faced up to 40 years in prison, 10 years for each count. He received those 2.5 years plus 2 years probation and a $5,600 fine. Do you think that sentence isn't the maximum 40 years because that wasn't the ketamine that ultimately killed Perry? A, and B, do you think that fine is small because he charged Perry tens of thousands of dollars for the ketamine?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think ultimately, he was not sort of the last straw. He wasn't in the causal chain that led to Perry's death. It was really the second to last source. And I think that it was partly about how much money he charged and also the optics with the texts that he was sending, particularly the doctor who he originally was getting the ketamine from, Dr. Mark Chavez, calling Perry a moron and basically saying, let's see how much this moron is willing to pay for the ketamine, and then charging thousands and thousands of dollars. I think almost close to $60,000 for what was really more than I don't know what the total price was, but it was under a couple $1,000s. So it was the sort of everything about it suggested that this was a doctor making a quick buck. Even at the very end, he was trying to guilt Perry's manager, Kenny Wazima, to that he had extra supplies he had stocked up on, so when it was getting too expensive. So I think it was, even though I think the sentence was lighter because he wasn't the one who killed Perry, he wasn't directly in that chain, but it was really just leading up to it, someone who was clearly abusive and way beyond the law.
To your point,